everyone a mighty warm and philosophical welcome to the 44th Annual Philosophers Awards presentation. I'm your charming and of average intelligence host, Ryan Oceancrest, here to navigate our night of deep thoughts, outstanding achievement, and swelling brains. We're all here tonight for one reason. Not to watch Christina Milian dip it low, not to watch Taylor Swift cry teardrops on her guitar, but to admire the philosophical stylings of the greatest individuals around, and sit back and relax, for we are in for an evening that even Destiny's Child will not be able to handle. Now, our first award for the evening is for Biggest Ego. And I feel as though we all have a pretty good idea of who's going to win. And the award goes to...
Hi, Mr. Frank Ocean, whatever your name is.
Tara Smith.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank myself for being so smart and looking out for myself on a daily basis. But I guess I could thank Ayn Rand also.
Excuse me.
For realizing we all do things to reap the rewards. Just like this award that I got tonight. She was the first to realize that we need to think of ourselves and get the rewards before we think about others. Besides Ayn Rand, I don't think anyone else has helped me along on my journey. I've done whatever I can to get to this place. And if people call me selfish, well, I'd say thank you. You too are pretty selfish.
Now, what are your thoughts and views on artificial intelligence? Would you care to let our viewers know your stance?
Well, I'd say if there are more copies of me around, the world is a better place, so I'm all for it.
Great. And that leads me to my next question. How would you respond to people who say you're self-centered and not moral or good?
It's not that I'm not good or moral. I believe that moral values have quality in our lives. But also, I believe if I give, I expect to get. It's only fair. I will do morally good and act upon my morals, but only if I get something good out of it. And I don't think there's any other way to live. Putting other people's well-being in front of my own doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't think it's even possible. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
We only have one. Thanks.
Oh.
Tara Smith, everyone. Next, we have the award for Best Proposal in Artificial Intelligence. The people have voted, and the winner is... Ray Kurzweil! Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Oceancrest. It's a blessing, thank you, sir.
Yes, it's a blessing. Now, could you share with us your ideas of artificial intelligence and a little bit about your proposal?
Well, first off, I would like to thank my mother and father who believed in me in helping me receive this award. My uncle who taught me the basics of computer science, my professors and advisors at MIT, the blind, hearing impaired, musicians and artists alike, and all those who have fed fuel to my fire of making life healthier, stronger, and the promotion of artificial intelligence. And Mr. Seacrest, your first question, I believe, is what is my stance on artificial intelligence? Well, sir...
And by the way, it's Oceancrest. I'm not related to Ryan Seacrest for the 20th time.
I do apologize, Miss Oceancrest.
Fine.
My stance on artificial intelligence should be self-evident. My books, The Singularity is Near, published in 2005, has won many awards, and I've actually been given honors of shaking Bill Clinton's hand for my thoughts and ideas. Now, I feel as though artificial intelligence, by the year 2199, will make a a self-sufficient world by using my 6 ingredients for the recipe of my award-winning plan: physics and chemistry, biology and DNA, brains, technology, the human body, and human intelligence. And the final ingredient, the universe wakes up when we all realize that machines are better than our own selves.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now, a word from our sponsors. just joining us, welcome. Our next award is the award for Most Virtuous. And the winner is Aristotle.
Thank you. I am extremely honored to receive the Most Virtuous Award this evening. For those of you who have not heard my virtue ethics, I will now briefly explain to you the three main focuses. I learned from my mentor, Plato, that our soul has two parts, a rational part and an irrational part. One element of our rational part is a desiring element. This element fuels our emotions and drives our actions. The second part of my virtue ethics states that the universe is teleological. This means that everything created has a reason or purpose for being made and function the way it should to reach that purpose or end goal. We as human beings have the telos or end goal to be happy. However, I'm not speaking of just any kind of happiness. I believe that happiness comes from the act of the soul being virtuous. Being virtuous brings us happiness. This brings me to the third contribution of my virtue ethics, the development of a virtuous character.
Now, I'm sorry, Aristotle. I'm very happy for you. But Plato was one of the most virtuous of all time. Plato is the best. I'm very, very sorry.
Thank you, Kanye.
To an extent, to agree that knowledge is virtuous and knowledge is important. However, knowledge is not enough. In order to be virtuous, we must practice virtuous acts. We must have moral standards and laws to live by. Having these guidelines will help us become virtuous adults. I believe that the way we are raised and the values we create for ourselves aid in the creation of a morally sound character. When dealing with the arts or with mathematical problems, we say that practice makes perfect. This also applies to being a virtuous person. If we have to practice our task in life, why shouldn't we have to practice the habits of kindness and morals? I believe we should. When you practice these habits, they become second nature. Once you develop this attribute, you will find happiness.
Thank you. Now just one more question before you leave. What are your thoughts on AI? Artificial intelligence.
Oh, yes. I've heard people mention that here this evening. You know, I really don't know what artificial intelligence is. It's a little bit ahead of my time, but I would say that if you could be of artificial intelligence and live forever, then you could practice being virtuous all the time.
Great, thank you. Aristotle, everyone. And our next award for the evening is for Most Abstract Thinking. The people have voted. And the winner is John what is it? What? Cyril? S-E-A-R...
Yes,
oh,
yes.
Look, here he is.
Thank you. I would like to thank my brain, first of all, for allowing me to have a mind.
Your brain?
Yes, my brain.
That's not a person.
My brain and my mind are connected.
Oh. Well, could you please elaborate on that for the rest of our average intelligence viewers like myself? Because I don't get what you mean.
Anything that causes minds or mental states would have to function like a brain, so how could they not be connected?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Anyway, I don't care. How do you feel about artificial intelligence?
When it comes to artificial intelligence, I believe a simple program is not enough to allow for mental states or a mind. A computer must have a mental state, and it must function like a conscious brain.
Cool. Thank you, Johns.
Yes, thank you.
Finally, the moment moment we have been waiting for all evening. The award for most successful AI. The winner is Mindscan Jake!
Woo! Yeah! I love you!
I'm sorry. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, a lovely philosopher's skull.
Yes.
Thank you for all being here. First, I would like to thank the man who introduced me to my new body, Mr. Sugiyama, my creator, Dr. Porter, all of the Mortex, and my lover, and other Mindscan, Karen Bessarian.
Yes, Mindscan Jake. Now, could you please give us a little bit of insight to the updates you've had to endure?
Certainly, Mr. Oceancrest. The updates I've had to endure recently have been X-ray vision and depth perception, fast reflexes of all body attributes, several knowledge and informational retaining, self-healing, heating, and cooling capabilities in times of need, whether I'm in the desert or in Antarctica.
I think you need a hand grip update because that was a little... Go on.
Supersonic hearing and backup strength producers.
Wow. Kind of sound like my SUV. But, of course, you're a person. Now, how would you feel if someone were to say to you, I don't really care for mind scans and I don't think they're our future?
If someone said to me, I don't care for mind scans and they aren't our future, personally, I would feel kind of hurt. I do have emotions. I have many strengths and many weaknesses. However, the upgrades are for my weaknesses and strengths. For those of you who doubt, maybe you should learn more about reading my autobiography written by Robert J. Sawyer. This book explains my former life, current, and future, which all of you, I hope, will consume.
I don't read, but thank you. Well, I would just like to send out an extended thank you to all of you who joined us this evening. All of this philosophy is enough to give me, well, a headache. But that's just me. I am of average intelligence, unlike all my philosophers around me. I don't know anything they said. So be sure to give your brains a break along with me tonight. This is Ryan Oceancrest signing out. Take care.
What about Plato? What an award show! Let's toast to the school award. I just planned my celebration trip to northern Michigan. Oh, Aristotle, what are you even doing here? Do you even know what we're talking about?
Well, actually, that is why I'm here. Everyone's been talking about this artificial intelligence this evening, and I'd really like to know more about it and see how it fits into my virtues ethics.
Well, Aristotle, artificial intelligence is the intelligence of machines and robots created by computer science. As we all know, I'm a computer science expert, as well as there are many other brilliant minds, and being funded from the government, artificial intelligence has come a long way in these last few decades. My dreams of the singularity, which is when technology advances faster than the human body, will become a reality in just a few short decades. AI will have the potential to make this world almost completely flawless. Imagine that. Imagine objects of mobility that will never crash again. Imagine nanobots that are inside of your body, actually inside of yourselves, that protect and destroy from cancer cells, diseases, reconstruct broken bones, and repair scarred tissue. Imagine robots that will be able to help protect families, care for their homes, run errands, communicate news feeds, and many other things so that people can spend time on the things that they feel are most important. With artificial intelligence, education will be at an all-time high with helpful learning strategies. Crime, on the other hand, will be at an all-time low, with machines and robots taking the place of courageous men and women who patrol the streets, water, air, and rugged land. I honestly can't think of anything more ethical than artificial intelligence helping humans make right and moral decisions by calculating items in a given situation to find the healthiest solution. Think about it. We humans have a hard time even making the most basic and everyday decisions. Wouldn't you like artificial intelligence to forecast the outcome with their rapid reasoning capacity? Also, if you haven't noticed, Aristotle, Dr. Smith, Mr. Surley, ethics don't seem to be too popular these days. I truly feel as though humans, as of now, don't like artificial intelligence simply because they're uneducated about it, and also that they're afraid of making positive changes.
You go, Ray. You go.
That's all nice, but I don't really know how I feel about this artificial intelligence thing. My stance is if one can derive the correct inputs and outputs for a computer program, then it in fact can have a mind just like a human's mind. When it comes to artificial intelligence, you must consider the brain. Seeing as the mind is found in the brain, mental states are part of our biological history because they are caused by the structure of our brain. If you want a program to work correctly or simulate the mind of a human, as artificial intelligence would, the programmers must allow the computer to interpret symbols and reasons. This leads me into the idea of the Chinese room. Say that a certain computer program allows for the ability to speak and have a conversation in Chinese and also understand the writing. If this program is given to a person who speaks only English, then that person would then be able to hold a conversation in Chinese. But this is only because the program grants that power to the human. Just because the human is able to do this does not mean that he or she knows what they're talking about. This proves that a program of intelligence, or artificial intelligence robot, is not sufficient enough for the understanding of certain actions. Programs cannot produce minds. To work properly, the computer would have to imitate exactly how the brain works.
This new advancement in technology is so much for me to wrap my brain around. But I do have some thoughts on this now. I do agree that we should be moving forward and accept changes. And I don't want to have a negative look on this just because I don't fully understand. But at the same time, I have to question, like you are questioning the mind, I'm questioning the soul aspect. My definition of happiness says that it comes from the soul. And how do I know whether this artificial intelligence or these mind scans or advancement in technology has a soul?
A soul? What is a soul? You need to tell me what a soul is? I don't think anyone knows what a soul is.